everybody. And once again, it's time for Home with the Crossover Sports Show. And for those of you who don't know, I'm your man, Big T, alongside my tag team partners. First of all, there's the Queen, the First Lady, the Doctor, the one and only Mama is in the house. We're talking about TP. What's going on, TP?
What's going on? Blessings, everyone.
There you go. And then we got the man who brings the ag swag to the show. We wouldn't be the same without him. Talking about none other than Aggie P.
Hello, everybody. Aggie Pride is always nationwide.
There you go. And then we got the man that helps hold things down behind the board. We're talking about none other than Radar.
Narrow is the way when it's time to play, Big T. You know how we do.
Love the catchphrase. Love the catchphrase. And then the man that is also holding things down behind the board. We're talking about one of the biggest Eagles fans I know. Thus the nickname Birdman.
Yeah.
Birdman, what's going on?
I didn't do it last week, so I got to get it in this week.
Oh, Lord, the bird. The bird. And together we're the tunnel crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And we are down a couple of men. Stats is not going to be able to be with us tonight, but he did send in his picks, so he'll be able to make his picks on the pick segment on the closeout, the wrap-up, but he's not here. And then, of course, for those who don't know, Rooftop is coaching a high school basketball team. And like we said, we fully expect some point in the future for him to join us on this at-home edition of the Crossover Sports Show so he can break down what's going on in the high school basketball world.
All right. I know, he better be winning, Big T. When he come back on here, he better have some wins.
He better have some wins.
Better. Aggie T waiting on him.
Say if not, we're gonna tell him just go ahead and quit and come on back.
Right. A lame dog can't fly.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump on into our hot topics. And as usual, it's the hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things that we, the tunnel crew, want to talk about. And the matchup for the big game has been set. It was set on Sunday. And over in the NFC, Tampa Bay, y'all hear that? Not Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay. I can't take credit for that. A lot of people been saying that on Sports Talk Radio. He took care of the Rogers rate. Sent the Rogers rate home. It's time to go make some more commercials.
Yeah.
Allstate be calling him and get some more commercials made there. But he sent him home, making the Bucks the first team ever to host the big game. I mean,
painted.
You know, teams have been from a particular state and played the big game in their state, but no team has ever hosted in their actual stadium the big game. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. Me and my cousin were sitting there watching the game, and I said, Tom, leave something for somebody else to do that's a first. Because you remember when they played Atlanta, there had never been an overtime big game. And then they went in overtime, of course, after coming back from 25 points down. Nobody had ever come back from more than 10 points down, and then they got that. And now no one has ever hosted the big game, and now he's done. I'm like, Tom, you're going to leave something for somebody else to do? I mean, seriously. So, he took care of business, and we got to look back at this game real quick because it was a 31-26 Tampa Bay win. And, I truly believe the game was lost in the fourth quarter when Green Bay picked off the GOAT 2 possessions in a row. Their offense gets the ball, and they go 3 and out both times. And I said at that point, I said, I don't care what happens the rest of the game. They blew it right there, because you can't go 3 and out. And when Tom makes a mistake, you got to make him pay. You got to make him pay. So that was one of the things where I said this game is over. And Brady, he put up 280 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Nobody's really talking about that, because really that was a team win. It was more than Tom. And A-Rod, he didn't do too bad. He was 33 out of 48 for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, had 1 interception. But I think one of the things that really killed him, they went away from Aaron Jones. Dude was 4th in the NFL in rushing yards, and he only had 6 carries for 27 yards. Tunnel Crew, what y'all think about that?
Hey, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you got a running back of that caliber. You got to give him the ball, especially down there in the goal when it was about the score. They had that controversy when he came in and kicked the field goal.
Yep.
I mean, hey man, give that man the ball. You know me. I always say, put the ball in your playmakers' hands and let them do what they do.
Yeah.
And that was one incident. But I can also follow that up and say, Rodgers should have ran the ball.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody dropped back. I said, come on, because Rodgers got some wheels now.
Yeah.
He should have ran that ball. I mean, he does. I mean, you don't think, he looked like he's slow, but Rodgers can move.
Well, and like you said, it was 3rd and goal from the 8.
Yeah.
And he was wide open.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even if he didn't make it, he would have at least got it to the 1,
Right. And then the coach might have would have changed the decision to say, okay, let's go for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's so much, Big T, we can touch on in that game. Rodgers had some bad throws in the game.
Yeah.
That he don't usually do.
And why would you go for a field goal when the game is on the line? Why would you kick 3 points? Like, if you would have been down, okay, you would have been down, but by a reasonable margin. Why just not go for it? It's a playoff game. Just go for it.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because he was crazy and went for that 2-point conversion earlier. And so he figured, we're down by 8. We might as well get 3 here and then cut it to 5. That way, if we get the ball back, we got a chance to win. I guarantee you, if they had kicked the extra point and they were only down by 7, they would have played for the end zone right there.
Yeah. But the only thing about it, though, Big T, is that you kick the field goal and you go put the ball back in Tom Brady's hand, not to get a touchdown, but to get a first down.
Yeah, just eat up clock. Hey,
go ahead, Radolph.
They had 2 3 and outs. 2 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers didn't want it. He didn't want it. Aggie put him on the bench.
But you know what? They should have ran the ball. They should have ran.
He's out of there.
He's out of there, man. He doesn't want it.
Say he's out of there.
What are you doing running the ball? Throw it, Aaron.
Well,
yeah, man.
I was trying to say that I felt like this is where you have to look, because this is where I felt like having more experience came in compared to somebody a little younger in this particular game.
Yeah.
I just felt like that with this particular game. And, this is a time that I felt like Brady is really trying to come, and he's really trying to have something to prove now that he left, New England. So I just felt like he really had something to try to prove.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt about it.
Well,
violence across the bench when I say that, but
hey, I think that, like I said, I really felt like once they had those 2 interceptions and they did absolutely nothing with it, I said the game's over, because I mean, once they punted it back the second time, it was under 5 minutes left, and I was like, the game is over, because I said, number one, Tom is not going to make any more mistakes the rest of this game. I mean, he just gift wrapped the game for you on 2 straight possessions, and you didn't take advantage of it. He's not going to mess up again.
No.
But nobody's going to talk about the fact that it was a clean game called, but because, we're tugging on a little bit of a shirt, Tom Brady throws his hands up, flag come out. But you called it all game long. You were calling it clean.
Yeah, well, they let them play until the end, and you know where that came from? That came from the Rams and Saints a few years ago when the guy got hit and they didn't call anything. They were like, okay, we don't want to be chewed out again, so we better make this call,
Right.
That was a repercussion from a couple of years ago. Hey, listen up. That first segment went by quick, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the other side of the big matchup, and we're talking about Kansas City. And we'll do that on the other side of the break. You're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Hey, Big T.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the crossover edition. Had a little technical difficulties there because of me. But we're back, and be sure to catch this live At Home edition of the crossover each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the duration of this pandemic. You can watch the Tunnel Crew live on our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Sorry, I almost got choked up there. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the show once you get there. Then you can find us at our original day and time on the radio Thursday night at 7 p.m. for the audio version of the original crossover sports show. Listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch the show on Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, and it's available on Google Play or in the iTunes store. So be sure to catch both the At Home edition, which is live on our YouTube channel every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., and our original audio show, the radio version, on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right, let's jump back into the hot topics here, and we're going to go to the other side of the equation. As the big game was decided, first segment, we broke down what happened with the Packers and the Bucks. Now we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, and it's not going to be as much to talk about with this one because the game was relatively easy for Mahomes and company. They advanced to the second straight big game.
Running back.
Neck concussion, ankle, none of those things could stop Patrick Mahomes, especially not the Bills defense. I mean, they couldn't get it done. And it was a battle of MVP candidates as Mahomes outdueled Josh Allen. I got to give it to young Buck Allen. He played well. Patrick Mahomes had 29 out of 38 for 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But hey, Josh Allen, he wasn't bad. 28 out of 48 for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also had 88 yards rushing. So, he put up a respectable performance. But like I said, defense couldn't get it done. They couldn't stop Mahomes and the boys, and also the Bills couldn't get a running game going. I think Kansas City's defense is very underrated.
And can I say something real quick, Big T?
Jump in there, sir.
I want to say that Coach Aggie P's diagnosis was spot on when he said if he can do this, he can do this.
Yeah.
He can play.
He can play. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to let him know it's spot on.
And this is rare, but I'm going to second Radar.
That is rare.
It's
Very
football, rare. Man. You know you're trained to play injured, and I know a lot of people that watch it say, it could be, life threatening and all of that. Man, listen, everybody, and everybody in my family can tell you this: football players, is something's not quite right with us.
Yeah,
it's a fact. I don't know. I mean, it just think about it. You got grown men out there running into each other for sport. I mean, think about that type of sport, Big T and guys. So they would play. I mean, hey, if you could stand up, they expect for you to play.
Yeah. Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Locker room logic is totally different from outside with the world knowledge logic.
Right.
Yeah.
You got people being held upside down inside of a locker room.
Yeah.
Walk by, let it go.
It's a whole different world that we cannot talk about on the total crew.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I mean, like we said, the final score, Kansas City won by 14 points, but it was a lot worse than that. Everybody knows it. And it was a learning experience for the Bills. I mean, they hadn't been in the playoffs since 93, I think, or 95. And so it was a learning experience for them. You got to learn how to crawl before you can walk before you can run. And really, to be out of the playoffs that long and get in and go all the way to the championship game, the conference championship game, that's pretty good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Bills Mafia has nothing to be ashamed about. Nothing.
So now we're not going to get into the matchup, because we'll talk about that in great detail on next week, but in preparation for the big game. But just a couple of quick mentions surrounding the big game. You had Brady, dude has now made it to the big game 10 times. Okay, now consider this. He's been in the league 21 years. And two of those years, he really didn't even play, because one of those years he was the emergency quarterback for the Patriots. He was watching the games from the stands. I've seen an interview with him where he's talking about sitting there eating popcorn, watching the games from the stands his rookie year.
Wow.
And then he tore his Achilles in 2008 after they went undefeated in game 1 in the first half of that game, and didn't play any games that season other than a half. So really the guy's only played he's only played 19 seasons. So that means he's been to the big game over half of his career as a starting quarterback. Think about that. 10 times in 19 years, the guy has been to the big game. But in terms of the matchup, the Bucs, man, they're going to have to try to figure out a way to stop Kelce and Hill, because if you look at what those guys did on Sunday, Travis Kelce had 13 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Tyreek Hill 9 receptions for 172 yards. If you can't stop those two, you're in trouble.
And I think Sammy White, he would be back for the Super Bowl. I saw it this morning on ESPN. So that's another playmaker that, I mean, they just loaded with playmakers, man.
Yeah, they are. And
so
I think it's gonna be a fun game. Now, one thing to keep your eye on, left tackle Eric Fisher. He tore his Achilles, and he's their big blindside protector, and he's gonna miss the game. And center Austin Reeder is the only guy that's going to be there that was a week 1 starter for that offensive line. See, a lot of people don't realize that offensive line has been, dealing with injuries all year long. So
yes, correct.
So it's going to just keep your eye on that, because Tampa Bay got a lot of heat on A-Rod in that game. So that offensive line is going to have to step up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I saw Jason Pierre-Paul trying to make some noise. And I said, now, you're going to leave the Giants and go to Tampa. No, you're supposed to be getting a little old. But he had a good game. So, yeah, you're right, Big T.
He did.
He was cut right. Too, man. He looked cut. He looked young.
Yeah. He come to play. I'm proud of him, man.
Just tell him to stay away from the fireworks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
I just want to give a shout out to everybody who is supporting us through YouTube and everybody who's supporting us on the radio. So shout out to everybody for supporting the Tunnel Crew, and we really appreciate everyone.
Appreciate you, and make sure you let us know if anybody send us any comments.
It's about time she do something, Big T. She don't do nothing else.
What's that?
I said it's about time she did something to contribute something to
Queen,
the show.
Queen, you started it. He started it. I'm out of this. I'm out of it.
Radar need to do something like the rest of us and then sit down.
Hey, y'all, be sure to catch this live at home edition of the crossover each and every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. throughout the duration of this pandemic. And you can watch the Tunnel Crew live on Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe once you get there and check us out. And then you can find us on our original day and time, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. for the audio version on the radio. And you can listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch the show on the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, which is available on Google Play or in the iTunes store. So catch us on both of those different ways. All right. Real quick, we're going to run through a couple of things in the NFL. We're going to close out the NFL because we got some NBA to talk about. Tua got stabbed in the back by his teammates. Teammates that came out and said, there's several guys anonymously that came out and said he's not the guy. And now they didn't put their name to it, but they said he's not the guy. About 4 defensive players said we're not impressed with him. They said the only thing we see that he does well is accuracy. And they said, but as far as, ever since we've been in practice with him, we're not impressed with his arm strength. We're not impressed with his decision making. We're not impressed with his ability to make plays with his legs. They said, so we don't think he's the guy. And
I was asking Aggie P about that because I heard that too. They were like, don't believe the hype. It was all in college, but once he got here, they said he don't know what he's doing. So I was going to ask Aggie P what he thought.
It has to be something going on behind the scenes, Big T, for them to say that. I mean, is he not going to meetings? Is he above the rules? I mean, what's going on? I mean, I think he had a decent year.
I think the biggest reason is because these guys want to win now. And when they see Fitzpatrick come out there, he has more control of course he's going to have more control. He's a 14-year veteran? You're talking about 14. A rookie versus a 14-year vet. Oh, is it 15? How many?
Yeah, I was saying 1 and 4.
Oh, yeah. So of course he's going to have a better control of the offense, but hey, all I have to say to those guys is this. Tyreek Hill said last year that when in Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, he said he thought he was trash. He said he thought he was trash. Now, one former Alabama player that was sticking up for Tua said this. He said, you notice, though, Tyreek waited to see what he was going to become before he opened his mouth and said that, Whereas these Dolphins players are saying it now, and the guy's only played 9 games, It's like, let's go ahead, Radar.
I said not even a whole season.
Yeah, so that's crazy. And then Deshaun Watson, his stuff has gotten crazy because somebody mentioned last weekend that the Dolphins would be a perfect landing spot for him, and he's got a no trade clause, and he was quoted as saying, yeah, that would be a place I would love to go. So now there's controversy about, well, should the Dolphins trade Tua and that number 3 pick and their number 18 pick for Deshaun Watson, So it's crazy, just the rumor mill,
They better let Tua stay.
Yeah.
Get some more reps. I mean, as you go up in levels of football, the speed is different.
Yeah.
And, let Tua get some more reps, get used to that speed, get used to the disguised defenses that he faces, and learn that I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that Tua has going for him, he is accurate. He's not a Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua is accurate. Cam Newton cannot throw from here to my bath. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. He can't throw 25 yards. And complete the pass. I mean, everybody see.
Top ain't here to hear.
I know.
You tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth, man. He is accurate.
Yeah.
So let's let this guy get a little bit more experience, and then let's see what everybody has to say. I mean, you don't throw the guy under the bus after the first year.
I know.
Well, especially the quarterback.
Even Peyton Manning had a bad first year.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, speaking of other quarterbacks, go ahead, TP.
Sorry, that's why I asked, was this still like an extension of the part of the rookie season? Everybody's expecting him to come out the same way that he did in college. It's not going to happen when you come to the NFL. It's a much faster pace. He's got to get used to that to build to be a great quarterback. You can't expect that after the first year. It takes time for that.
I think the reason there's also the whole there's also the situation with Justin Herbert out there with the Chargers, because he set rookie records this year for passing yards, touchdowns, and Miami could have taken him in the draft, but they chose Tua over him. So I think there's a lot of comparison going on there. Did Miami make the right choice? Hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of At Home with the Crossover.
So sad when the joy is here. What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to the at-home edition of the Crossover. And make sure you catch this version of the Crossover every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the duration of the pandemic. And you can watch it every week on Love and Faith Radio, the YouTube channel. And make sure once you get there to like, to share, and to subscribe to the show. And then you can catch the audio version, the radio edition, on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And you can do that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch the show on the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, and it is available on Google Play or in the iTunes store. So make sure you catch both the at-home edition on YouTube at our YouTube channel, Love and Faith Radio, and the audio edition on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and the at-home edition on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. All right, real quick, jumping back into these hot topics. We'll close these out before we get into the question of the day. NBA, real quick. Kyrie Irving finally returned. He's been back for a couple of games. He put up some nice numbers in his first game back. I think he had 28 points. When they interviewed him, he said the Capitol riot and family personal issues was the reason why he left. But the biggest thing that came out of it was, it was revealed that he told all his teammates he was going to be leaving, but he didn't tell Steve Nash, the head coach, and he didn't tell the general manager. So once again, the guy marches to the beat of his own drum. He just he does things.
After the riots.
The Capitol riots.
All I heard was excuses, and another excuse.
And the Capitol riots?
The Capitol riots. That's what he said.
Okay. All right. Let's go on. I don't even.
It sounded like I want to trade. Is anybody else hearing that?
Yeah.
I want to trade.
But how many times can you trade him, TP? I mean.
But what did you say last week? Was it you or Radar? We know what Rooftop would say.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Did you say that last week? Mental health.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. And then you tell everybody but the coach.
Yeah. Right. Hey, and the general manager. The two most important people.
Wait a minute. Didn't he do this with LeBron? He didn't.
He sure did. He sure did.
Go to the coaches in there.
Yeah. Hey, he's just a weird dude, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about something positive in the NBA. Steph Curry on I believe it was Saturday night passed Reggie Miller for second all time on the all-time three-pointers made list. And he at the time that it happened, because he's probably got more now, he's made 2,562 three-pointers. And it took him 11 years to do that, which is 8 years less than Reggie Miller, because Reggie Miller did it in 19 years. I'm sorry, 7 years less, because Reggie Miller did it in 18 years. Now he's got his eye set on Ray Allen, who is the all-time leader with 2,973 three-pointers. He's about a little over 400 behind him. And according to the numbers, he averages like 4.2 3-point. I don't know where the 0.2 comes from. Just say 4. He averages 4 3-pointers a game. And they're saying at that pace, he should pass Ray Allen around this same time next year. And Ray Allen, it took him 19 years to get that record. So he will have done it in 8 years less than Ray Allen if he accomplishes that feat next year. So, pretty impressive stuff by Steph, like I said, something positive to talk about in the NBA. Anybody got any comments on that?
Hey, I mean, he's a pure shooter. I mean, I remember his father. Yeah, I used to love to watch him shoot that ball like that. So hey, it's in the family, man.
Yeah.
If he could, I just pray that he stay healthy and go ahead and pay, and get that record.
Yeah.
Well, and with Clay being out, now he'll have an opportunity to really up the numbers and fill the baskets with all those young players around him, both ways, and kind of, cement his legacy, aside from Clay being there. So I think it'll give him a chance to really prove himself.
And you know what? He strikes me as a guy that's going to play a long time. I don't know if he's going to pull a LeBron, or Tom Brady and play for 43, 45 or whatever, but he strikes me as a guy that's going to play for a while. So I would think that if he does pass Ray next year, then he'll put that thing out of reach. I mean, it'll be hard for anybody to catch. Well, I don't know, Trey down there in Atlanta, he's off to a great start.
Yeah, he can shoot it too. So
we'll
see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Back to the NFL real quick. Phillip Rivers retired on Wednesday after 17 years. At the age of 39, he said he's hanging it up, said he's ready to move on to other things, and he's going to coach a high school football team in his hometown of Alabama. And that job's already lined up. He's already set. So that's one dude that already knows what he's going to do. There has been some rumbles that, he might get a TV gig, but he's already said, he's going to coach a high school team in his hometown. So we'll see what happens there.
I like that.
Yeah, and he's a great guy, wish him well. And then Dwayne Haskins was signed by the Steelers, so he's good. Hey, maybe he's the replacement for Big Ben if Big Ben announces what he's going to do, because we haven't heard from him or Drew Brees yet. So, and then finally, Stafford at Detroit. You know, he said he wants out, and they said they're going to accommodate him. You know, somebody said only Detroit can get things wrong. You're not supposed to tell people we're going to let him go. You know, that takes away your bargaining power. Detroit messed everything up, you know. So there you go. Let's move on to talking about NFL quarterbacks. Let's jump to the current NFL quarterbacks, and this will set up our question of the day. And since we got the matchup in the big game between the young stud and the GOAT, the vet, the question of the day is this: is Patrick Mahomes setting up to be the next Tom Brady? I'm gonna throw that out there to the tunnel crew. Let you guys chop that up.
Aggie P.
Oh, why Aggie P got to go first? But you know what? In all sports, you know, it seems to be a guy that is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you was talking about earlier, Big T. You know, he's the first to play in the big game.
Yeah.
You know, in the stadium, in their home stadium.
Yep.
You know, the man, Tom Brady is old, but he came in and took the Bucs to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So, and everybody keeps saying it. I always go against it. They always say, don't go against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it, man, I mean, I think this guy is called to be, the legitimate GOAT in quarterbacks in football.
Yeah.
I mean, he's look how long he's been doing this, and he's still. I mean, no matter what I say from week to week, bring pressure up the middle, this, and that. Now look, he's going to the big game.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, I don't think Mahomes is going to be a Tom Brady. I think Mahomes is going to have a great career, but I don't think he's going to achieve the stuff that Tom Brady has achieved.
Yeah,
that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
because you got to look at it. That team is they're going to start to break that team up sooner or later.
Yeah,
because you got all these playmakers. They got to redo those contracts. You can't pay everybody top dollar.
Yeah.
So people are going to start. If Tyreek Hill leaves that team,
they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Well, and I think the biggest place where it's going to hurt them is the defense, because they're going to have to start letting some of those defensive studs go, and then you're going to have to win shootouts, and that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah. So my answer, for your question, Big T, is that, hey, I don't think he's going to be a Tom Brady, but he will have a successful career in football. I think he will.
Who else?
I don't think he's going to be a Tom Brady, but, I have to give my hats off to Tom Brady. What I looked at was experience. And, we talked about this earlier. I looked at the experience of the player. And I always feel like no matter how much you go against Brady, something about those, I always say the last 8 minutes, but it's something when it comes down to those last few minutes that they can be down almost 2 touchdowns, and it just seems like he just 9 times out of 10 always pulls it out.
Yeah.
So, even with that being said, I feel like that is something that Mahomes and them can really look at and aspire to be able to say, how can I do that almost every time the same way he did?
Yeah.
And, I look at Brady when he came. Yeah, I look at when Brady came, I really feel like he had something to prove. And his something to prove was everybody was saying it was my O-line that was, doing this for me. So let me come to, I hate to say it, but one of the worst teams in the, there. And let me bring some fire back, but at the same time, let me be able to prove what I can do. Now, we're not trying to have players go to different teams to prove it, but I feel like that Mahomes can really have a great career. The same thing Aggie P is saying, have a great career, and then be different, but yet kind of he's bringing that fire back to the game, especially for the young people.
I'm gonna weigh in real quick and just say I agree with y'all. I think he's gonna be very good, but I don't think he's gonna be the next Tom Brady. I mean, that's too big of a mountain to climb,
Right.
Whoever that guy's going to be, he's going to come in the league and win like 4 Super Bowls in his first 4 years. And then we're going to be like, man, this guy still got 15 years left, you know?
Right.
So,
now Mahomes might go down as what I call the new age quarterback.
Yeah.
To be the best in that, because Tom Brady and your quarterback from the Atlanta Falcons, I can't think of his name now.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, those are your statues, the guys that, just stand back there and pause, they can't move.
Yeah.
I think, the GOAT is the last of those guys, but I think Mahomes, he is really like Tiger Woods changed the game of golf.
Yeah.
I think Mahomes have changed the game as far as from an offensive perspective.
Yeah.
When a defensive coordinator has to set up his defense every week, you usually don't have to account for those statues running the ball. Now you got to put a spy on these quarterbacks because they can go out and rush for 100 yards easy.
Yeah.
Even Josh Allen. I mean, hey, he got some wheels too.
Yeah.
So I think Mahomes is going to lead what I call the new age quarterback to be a very successful.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we're going to come back with the wrap up on the other side. It sounds like the consensus is no, Mahomes is not the next Brady. We'll see you on the other side, and you're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. 1 church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the tunnel crew.
All right. Welcome back to the final segment of this edition of At Home with the Crossover. And a couple of quick mentions here. Did anybody see the Dan Campbell press conference, Detroit's new coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened, guys?
If you didn't, I'm going to read this quote real fast because it was hilarious. Go on YouTube and watch it if you get a chance after the show. So he got hired, and he stood up at the press conference, and he said, I wanted this job really bad. Coach speech, that bleep doesn't matter. He said the identity of this city is how we're going to build this team. It's going to be built on the identity of we're going to kick you in the teeth, and when you punch us, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite your kneecap off. And then we're going to stand up, and we're going to take 2 more shots, and you're going to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to bite your other kneecap off. Then he said, it's going to take 3 shots to get us down then. And when you do get us down, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. That's going to be our mentality.
I think he's watching too much Netflix or something.
And
WWE, you know?
Right.
Dang.
it looked like In Living Color spoof.
It did. It really did. It looked like a skit. You know, you said,
like,
this for real?
He got hired?
Hey, only Detroit, like we said.
Avengers? Was he watching Avengers or something? I mean,
he was watching something.
He got that from Tony Stark.
I'm saying Avengers.
All right, well let's get to our picks here because this is the final segment where we do our picks and then we do the wrap up. And let me recap last week's standings. The Queen, she won the week. She went 4-0. You know, when you come after the Queen, heads will roll. And Birdman, you know, you got something stirred up there last week with all the trash talk. So she proceeded to go 4-0 to show you. To show you like that veteran, like she said, like Tom Brady.
Congratulations, because now I don't have to hear a certain Cowgirls fan run his mouth about being undefeated and staying at the top.
Okay, so she went 4-0, and then Aggie P went 3-1. Birdman went 3-1. And then me, Radar, and Stats, we all went 2-2. So, you know, once again, you know, it was a week where the Tunnel Crew didn't have any losing. We didn't have any losing members. Everybody did 500 or better, but man, it's hard to keep up with 4-0 and 3-1. You know, we got to do a little better, Radar and Stats.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we stand there. And I'm sorry I didn't bring the calculations for the overall standings. So I'll have to do that next week, but that's where we stand for this week. All right, the picks for this week are Golden State at Dallas, a matchup of two MVP candidates there with Steph and Luka Doncic. That's Thursday night in the NBA. And then men's college basketball on Saturday. You got number 15 Kansas at number 18 Tennessee. You got number 8 Virginia at number 20 Virginia Tech in the ACC. And then women's college basketball on Monday, a big one. Number 2 NC State, 11-0 at number 1 Louisville, 14-0. And that's Monday night. So let's go ahead and get these picks in there, and we'll start with the Queen since she got 4-0 on us. We'll go ahead and jump in there and let her have it.
I was gonna let you read mine for me, but before you do, just want to say one more time that we really appreciate everybody who's supporting us, especially on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Feel free to leave any of your comments and we can give you a shout out. So I would like to thank the people who's being supportive right now, and I'll let you read mine.
And we thank TP's class for getting her 4-0 last week. Thank you.
Nah, Radar, we can't say that because she did pick her own picks.
But
she picked her own picks.
Here's the deal, though, Radar.
I made my own picks. Thank you. I made my own picks.
And even
can anybody say asterisk?
Even if you didn't, Queen, guess what? The head coach don't coach every position on the football team. You know, he's got an offensive coordinator, defense. He got linebackers. He got, you know, he gets the credit because he's the one that has the final say. If the defensive coordinator comes to him and say, "I'm gonna blitz everybody," he says, "Oh no, you're not." You know, so she could veto any of those picks. So the fact that she went with it is saying they got my stamp of approval as the head coach of the team. So there you go.
All right. Say what? Go ahead, call me big.
I give props. Like I said, I ain't doing that this week. I give props. At least it's not Stats at the top. At least it's not him.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump out there with the Queen's pick. She took the Mavericks over the Warriors. She took Kansas over Tennessee. She took Virginia over Virginia Tech, and she took Louisville in the matchup of 1 versus 2 on Monday night women's college basketball over NC State. All right, let's go with Aggie P.
Yes, sir. I took the Warriors.
All right.
Pulling for Kansas.
All right.
Virginia and Louisville.
All right. We got you on wax, as they say. Let's go with Radar.
All right. I just wanted to let y'all know the women from my sewing class helped me with my picks. So we're going to... We're gonna go 4-0, baby. 4-0.
Hey, don't be counting on that's how FUBU started. That's how FUBU started. Don't be clowning on the sewing class.
What you got, Radar?
Big T, go ahead with my picks. I just wanted to open up with that.
That man said sewing class.
So Radar's got the Mavericks over the Warriors. He's got Kansas over Tennessee. He's got Virginia over Virginia Tech. And he's got NC State in the women's game over Louisville on Monday night. Birdman, give us your pick, sir.
I believe it was, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, Big T. I believe I chose the Mavs.
Yep.
Virginia.
Yep.
Kansas.
Yep.
And I think the last one I chose State.
Got Louisville, what I got.
All right, Louisville. We'll stick with Louisville.
Sticking with Louisville? All right. So we got you on wax. Mavs, Kansas, Virginia, and Louisville. And then Stats, who was not here with us, but he did give us his picks. He took the Mavs, he took Tennessee, he took Louisville, and he took Virginia. And that leaves me for last. I took the Mavs, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and Louisville. So that's my pick.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. Okay.
Hey, I just went with Virginia Tech because they're at home, and that's a rivalry. Virginia Tech, it's a home game. I figured they better come out playing hard. All right, so before we close out here with our shout-outs, we just want to mention that today is the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death. A year ago, his death kicked off the 2020 madness. It was followed by murder hornets and coronavirus and all of that stuff. Chadwick Boseman dying. It was just a rough year. So we just wanted to remember that and mention that this is the anniversary, and we just pray for Vanessa and the girls. Oh, Gigi also. We don't want to forget everybody that was on that plane. Gigi and all of the other people that perished in that helicopter. On January 26th of 2020, a year ago. And then Hammer and Hank Aaron, the legend, he passed away on Friday night. The all-time home run leader in a lot of people's eyes because he did it without cheating. I mean, a lot of people look at him, they still look at him as the real home run king over Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. But Hammer and Hank passed away on Friday night. So we just wanted to mention those two things there. All right, let's go on with our shout outs, and we got to do them quick because we're running out of time. So we'll start with you, Queen.
Again, shout out to YouTube and everybody who's supporting us and everyone on the radio. We really appreciate it.
All right. Aggie Pete.
Yes, my shout out is to D-Up, a nonprofit organization in the High Point area. Thank you for all the things you do for the community.
All right. Radar.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Greta Bush for her work with the HP CAV program, helping out the repeat offenders in the community of High Point. Just wanted to give her a big ups.
All right, Birdman.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out somebody special, my fiance. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me for 4 years and 2 months going on Thursday. Love you, little mama.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, my shout out is for the NFL for being decisive on saying we're going to have a season, we're going to have a draft, we're going to do all that, and for making it through. I mean, we got one game left, y'all, and they did it. They had to move some games around, rearrange some stuff, but hey, I give them credit for this. They were decisive, and they were one of the few sports leagues that was decisive. They said, we going through, moving forward, and so hats off to them because they pulled it off. A lot of people said they couldn't, but they did. So that's my shout out. All right, I guess that will wrap up this edition of At Home with the Crossover for the Queen.
Shout out to Rooftop. We miss you.
There you go. For Aggie P.
No weapon formed against you.
For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
For Birdman. Bird. Hey, I thought we was going to hear the bird or something.
He was getting ready to do
it. That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.
That's it.